to the elder abuse that played out on television screens across the world today. Joe Biden is a very sick, unwell man. The Democrats put an old man on a spit and he was roasted like a well-cooked lamb at a Greek barbecue. Today, he mumbled, fumbled and crumbled the presidential debate. Now, this is someone who should be in a nursing home. Instead, he is moonlighting as the President of the United States, even though he looks like this.
The most respected, wanted it brought back. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb. We're able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including he's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, but Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars.
Now, that is the face of a man who is beyond struggling. He is totally incoherent. The presidential debate made for uncomfortable, cringe-worthy viewing. For 90 minutes, Joe Biden resembled a space cadet, strung out on whatever is clearly being pumped into his body to prop him up. What are the Democrats thinking? What is his family thinking? Where are his closest confidants when he clearly needs their help and guidance more than ever? He barely blinked and couldn't close his mouth. Now, if this was my grandfather or father, I would be horrified. It is so cruel. And look, there's no doubt America is clearly divided. There are two candidates on the table. One, Donald Trump, a convicted felon, a polarising yet divisive figure. You either love him or you hate him.
The crimes that you are still charged with. And think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
What a world we live in. Or, of course, there's Joe Biden, whose cognitive decline fails him time and time again. Now, the debate was touted as a test of that and whether Biden could get through it without the freezers. This should have been his moment to prove the doubters wrong, but he malfunctioned from the very beginning, from the moment he shuffled on stage.
Please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Folks, how are you? Great to be here. Thank you.
And then, unfortunately, he opened his mouth.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
And it kept going downhill. He struggled to keep his eyes open and struggled on key issues like immigration.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country.
And on abortion.
But we are not for late-term abortion, period.
It's just so unbelievably hard to watch. You can't sugarcoat it. This debate was a disaster for Joe Biden. And sure, there were some rather odd moments from both sides.
I was 8 handicapped.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, you know how many...
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn.
Let's not act like children.
You are a child.
Only in America would two presidential candidates argue about their golf handicaps. But there is no denying Donald Trump destroyed his opponent. Now, I will leave the fact-checking to the experts, but there was a clear juxtaposition. Though that will all take a back seat now to Joe Biden's performance. And perhaps that was a campaign strategy by Trump's team. Take a step back and let the madness unfold for itself. Not even CNN could spin today's debate in Biden's favour.
They're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call because they feel this debate was so terrible.
How is it these pundits now admit Biden isn't up to the task? Hello, this didn't happen overnight. It has been a long time coming, like a slow-motion train wreck.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him... I signed the PAC Act into law. He had tied that fall. He decided to... Look, I shouldn't get into this.
The credibility of the left-wing media in the US is shot to pieces. Now, the White House is in damage control this evening. They claim Joe Biden had a cold today. Well, the last time they spun such a narrative was after this shocking moment, when they then offered up this excuse.
Instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, what he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos.
Well, there is nothing deep fake about today's debate. The debate on CNN had been so angled towards helping Joe Biden, they were allowed 2 ad breaks, allowing him to take a moment to regroup. They muted the microphones after every comment. I mean, this was clearly skewed towards helping the president. He even had to take a week off just to prepare for this moment, but it still didn't work because he is an old, frail, sick man who is in dire need of medical care and rest. I breathed a sigh of relief when it was time for the candidates' final pitches, but even that was a shocker.
He wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400.
Yeah, you're not at all in good shape, Joe Biden. Now, I asked earlier, what is his family thinking? Well, after helping him, carrying him almost off stage, Jill Biden then said this about her husband's performance.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Oh, really? She's practically enabling this cruelty. Now, I would say to the Democrats, please tap him on the shoulder. The time has come for him to go. Stop the elder abuse, stop the cruelty, put an end to the madness. Let Joe Biden live out the rest of his life away from politics, getting the help he clearly needs. But gee, hasn't America got some big issues?